So 6 months after the narc discarded me the very first time, which was the previous video I did about how the narc hurt almost took me out. All right, so didn't talk to him for 6 months. At this point, I'm healing. I'm getting myself together. I'm trying to, get him out of my life and be okay with it and get myself back, start loving on me. And so one day out of the blue, because I haven't heard from him in 6 months. So one day out of the blue, he checks in to see if I'm suffering after he discarded me the first time. He don't know. He might know. But to my knowledge, he don't know I've been in the hospital. And I actually stayed in the hospital. That's something I left out of the other video. I stayed in the hospital for 3 days. Doing all of this stuff, getting blood work and all that done. I stayed in the hospital for 3 days. And that's another video because it's kind of crazy how I actually figured out something was going on with me. But yeah, that's another story. So he calls in to check and see if I'm suffering without him. So the call I get from him is that famous line that he had his narcissistic sister call me with. He hits me up and says, I need my hair done. This is his all-time favorite line for reaching out to me. This is what he has to say every single time, except for a few times, to get back to hoovering me, love bombing me. So here we are, we're having a conversation. He's talking about his hair, and I want to talk about what just went down. I want an apology, not knowing that this man ain't gonna give me an apology. I want an apology because you've taken me through so much. I allowed you to take me through so much. What do you have to say for yourself or whatever? So I go into telling him about how I was in the hospital and I found out that I have the same thing that my mom had and passed away from or whatever. And he said to me, he was like, why you ain't called me? Because you discarded me. You no longer care about me. So why would I call you in the moment of me being sick? Not knowing what a narcissist like to do. They like to kick you when you're down. So that would have been an even better reason for him to come back into my life and hoover me, love bomb me, manipulate me some more, because I'm in a place where I can't fight right now. I'm very vulnerable at this moment. And so he went into skipping over everything that I want to talk about, and he want to tell me how everything is my fault. Well, if you wouldn't have said what you said, I would still be there, which is I told him I don't need him. I want him. So he played on that he punished me for that, to see if I really did need him or if I didn't. Like I said, if you ain't ever been in that position before, you don't know what I'm talking about. Because at that time, I thought I needed him. I thought I needed him to survive, to live. That's what I thought. But then God started opening my eyes, and he took me back to when we got this place. Funny story. So the first time when he sent me here to where we live now, when he sent me here, told me me and my son is running up his bank account. He need to build his account back up. And so I need to go to Georgia and find a place so he can come and we can get a place together. Okay, that was a whole nother video. But yes, when he told me that time, I thought, okay, so I'm sorry. When he told me that time, I had already, before he got back here, got approved for the place. So God had to take me back because I was really sitting here like we were splitting everything down the middle. So how am I gonna pay the bills? How am I gonna pay the bills with my one check or whatever? But I didn't even recognize that I had already got approved for the place without him. So therefore, I can handle all the bills by myself without him. So that's when my journey of healing started coming into play. I started realizing that, girl, get up from here. You don't necessarily need him. You want him. So I made things happen, got my bills paid, and I ain't went a day since one of the times he done left me. He ain't never left me high and dry. He just left responsibilities behind, but he never left me to a place where I can't afford to do for myself. And that was another part of the journey where I had to see, you don't need nobody to do something you already started. He came in and it was just extra help. So I had the place before he even entered back in. So when he came back, all I had to do was just add him to the lease, but I had not moved in yet. So that's how we were able to get the place together. So I had all the money and everything to put down whatever I needed to put down, but he came in and like narcissists do. Well, I had a given narcissist, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that ain't part of hoovering, but it is or whatever. But I never had a problem with him in money. He would always give me money. He would always take care of stuff. So that wasn't an issue with him. But at that time where I was losing my mind, or thinking I'm losing my mind, I thought that I couldn't take care of things without this man. I really did. I was just that gone. But God opened my eyes up, and then I started realizing, girl, you can take care of these things by yourself. You're good. So then once that started happening, my confidence started getting a little bit better with myself, because his intentions was for me to suffer and fail because he left me. He wanted to show me that I needed him, and still ain't showed me nothing, because at the end of the day, I still didn't need him, and I still don't need him right now to this day. Never have. So what he sought out to do, like now I'm learning what his actual plan was for me. Like at least one of them, I know for a fact, is he was trying to move me from place to place to place to place to place to place to place, because they're bouncers. They don't stay in one place for a long time. And he lives like that. So he'll be here one minute, somewhere else the next minute, be somewhere else the next minute, then come back around to me. So every time that he's come back, he's tried to move me out of my comfort zone. Don't get me wrong. I do want to move. It's time to move on from the place that I'm in now. I've sat here. I've lived the life that I needed to live in this home. It's time for me to elevate to greater. And I am going to elevate to greater. God said it and he going to do it. So I am going to elevate to better. And so I'm just not finna get up and leave with you. He almost had me. About to pack up and leave. But then God had to keep putting his hands in this thing, because he was only allowing him to do what he allowed him to do. But he couldn't do the things that he wanted to do. The big things. You know what I'm saying? So moving was one of them things he wanted to do. And he wanted to move me into something that I cannot afford. So that way I have to depend on him. Because when we were looking for places, oh, he won't discount a rent. Oh, I can pay that. Yeah, you think you can pay that, because they be lying. They flodgers. They will flodge like I don't know what, make you think that they ballin'. He ain't got it like that. Had me fooled for a long time, but when your eyes start to open up, you start seeing the real deal, baby. I got it, not you. So he was trying to get these outrageous rents and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I'm doing the math. I'm like, well, if we do that, then we ain't gonna have no budget room to do nothing else. And I don't want to be stuck paycheck to paycheck and I'm just working to pay rent. I want to be able to live my life. I've done that before. So I'm trying to do something different. But his goal was to get me somewhere and trap me, so that way I need him. So when he does this discarding, running away and coming back thing, he want me where he had me in the hospital. That's the reaction he want from me every time he do this discard thing, and I won't give it to him. Have not given it to him since then. I made a vow to myself, you will never get me that low again. You'll hurt my feelings, but you ain't gonna get me that low again where I feel like I'm about to be taken out. No. So I just started changing over time. So, you build up a tolerance for their mess when you're not ready to absolutely close the door. You'll find different ways to cope with them. And that's what I did. I learned how to cope with him, and what I wasn't going to do, I wasn't going to do. Most of the time, he tried to get, slick and make it work his way. In times it worked for him, in times it didn't, because now that I'm starting to see who you are, now I'm kind of paying attention to things, and now I'm saying something, or, I'm making a fuss about things, or I'm doing things to put a damper in the things that you're trying to do. Because sometimes I have underhandedly put a damper in those little plans when I seen him getting ready to do stuff that was familiar to me. Yeah, but that's another video. So I got a lot of stories, y'all. I'm telling you, like, I've been through this thing 4.5 years worth of stuff. I mean, and it's stuff I done forgot about, but as I'm researching and hearing different people talk about it, it's bringing these things back up, and I'm just like, dang, man, I got story after story after story. And so, yeah, he called in to check and see that I was suffering, and he didn't make it no secret, but it dawned on me after the fact. I didn't catch it when he was saying it right then and there, but he said it. So after he asking me how everything going, I'm telling him, oh, I still got the place. I still got my car. We got a refrigerator full of food, because I'm telling him everything that I have that he thought I was going to lose prior to him leaving out of here or whatever. So I don't know why I was telling him all those things, but I did. And so I didn't know that I was punching him in the gut, because his plan did not work. It worked a little bit, but it didn't destroy me like he wanted it to. So after I'm telling him everything I got and that I still have, that I did not lose, but what I gained since you walked out the door, he says to me, well, then you don't need me to come home. Then you got everything all figured out. And because I still want this man, this is what I said to him. I said, well, I don't need you in those areas, but I still need you emotionally, physically, to love on me. The love that I'm showing you, show it back to me. That's what I need from you. I don't need you to take care of me. I need you to come here and be a partner with me. Ain't no one person doing better than the other person. We're a team. We're working together. That ain't what he wants. So he wanted me to be broken down, sick. He wanted me that when I answered that phone, he wanted me to be like, baby, please come back. Baby, please come back. I need you. I cannot live without you. All the things that I really did feel and went through. But he didn't get that when he got on that phone. So now he's like trying to blame me for why I ended up in the hospital. And I'm like, no. He's like, well, if you wouldn't have never said this, we would never be in this position right here. And so, like they do, they got to make everything your fault. But the point of the story is, just be careful with when they trying to get back in contact with you after a long period of time. It's always a motive. They need something from you. And that's what I'm learning. All of those times that he came back, it was because he needed something. Whether it be a place to stay, somebody to care for him, somebody to do things for him. I love to travel, so he used me a lot for traveling. So, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Over time, you just learn what role you played in it and what their gimmicks is. But, yeah. Our narcissists will check in after they feel like they done some real damage to you, that they thought that they did some real damage to you. They will check back in to see if they knocked you off the floor, off your feet, and if you really suffered behind what they did, so that that way they can feel good in their selves for making you feel like crap. Have a good day.